things are starting to pick up with the Steam sale ending this week, but it's still relatively slow. But the interesting releases of the week begins with yet another Zombie Survivors, a title that I did preview when covering the best upcoming games of July, where yes, this is another Vampire Survivors style roguelike title that pits you against swarms of enemies, and even worse, uses the most generic enemies in zombies, but this developer has quite the pedigree and lineage, so to see them put their spin on the genre is interesting, with the 3-person squad bringing something different, as well as the ability to place things like turrets down and looks fun. A game that almost made the upcoming releases video is Catch and Cook Fishing Adventure, a very pleasant fishing game which seems to be the central theme this year. Only I don't think there are any cosmic horror elements to this game. Rather, you head out to fish, then return to your restaurant to cook said fish and to sell for profit, presumably giving you the cash needed for upgrades, after which you head out once again. There's all sorts of fishing in this, from rod, net, harpoon, and even crab fishing, with an experimental way to discover new recipes as well, looking so wonderful and relaxing. Hey, if you made it this far, subscribe to my weekly newsletter to keep on top of all things indie games, link in the description below. Whatever you think this game might be, I don't think you'll see the twist coming, so I'll be back in a bit. Yes indeed, Bonnie's Bakery has some horror undertones, with a mysterious basement in your bakery where it swaps between a Diner Dash style time management game to a first-person stealth action title where you're hitting the villagers with your hammer, hunting these creatures for ingredients while trying not to get caught by the police, so how very Sweeney Todd of this game, and looks kind of disturbing. I had to do a double take when I saw this title on the list of releases, since the last numbered Jagged Alliance game was from 1999, with Jagged Alliance 3 releasing this week, now coming to us from the experienced team at Himimon Games, whom I trust, so let's see if they managed to capture the magic of this tactics title with a rundown of the key features provided by the developer.
Featuring turn-based tactics and RPG elements, first released in 1994. With Jagged Alliance 2 following in 1999 and considered one of the best games of its genre. There were some other spin-offs that, let's just say, were interesting. But we are here to make it right. Ian Curry, the creator of the original Jaggeds, is here to keep us from f***ing things up, so we don't piss off our Jagged fans out there. And really, anyone who buys the game. So what makes Jagged Alliance 3 a worthy addition to the series? Well, a lot.
We're making the magic happen.
You know how some games tell you the success probability of hitting a target, and it's all about figuring out the perfect solution? Yeah, well, we don't. Jagged is not just a puzzle, but a simulation. There is no perfect solution. We want you to experiment, to listen to your mercs, and trust your experience, which might be easier said than done.
Trust me, I know the type.
You will need to consider your situation. How's the weather? The lighting? How are your mercs? Did they have a boo-boo? Did they get their full 8 hours last night? You will need to consider the battlefield. Do you have the higher ground? Are your mercs in cover? How about their lines of sight or visibility? Not to mention managing character stats, listening for verbal hints, situational modifiers.
Good chance of me, not missing.
Yeah, you get the picture. And sometimes, life will hand you lemons. And then they explode. Is it challenging? Yes. Is it fun? You're damn right it is. These mechanics are core to your battle strategy, giving combat an organic feel. It also makes listening to your mercs important, most of the time.
Igor, great at hiding. You will see. Or you will not.
That's actually a really nice segue to talk about the characters. And in Jagged, there are a lot of them. 40 fully voiced mercs with their own backstories, personalities, interactions, playstyles, even phobias.
This place make me sweaty. It will not look good on the camera.
These characters actually play like individuals, meaning their personalities will affect how they operate in the world, how they react to the enemy, and how they work with each other. And like any real-world situation, sometimes things can get a little dicey. Assemble your squads wisely because there are team players, and then there's this.
Fidel, no more work for you.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right? And bad team management over time is a nightmare.
What the fuck you want, mercenaries?
And let's not forget about the local inhabitants of Grand Chien with their own story arcs that range from humorous to a little bit heavier. All these people are part of the open world of Jagged. From the jungles to the slums to the desert, the world is yours to explore and enjoy at your own pace. Go wherever you want, make your own missions, manage your mercs, mod your weapons. There's lots to do for an energetic sociopath like yourself. Be careful of pissing off the locals too much, though. Just because you can live with your actions doesn't mean they have to. You can treat the populace with respect and support. Or take them for all they're worth. Whatever lets you sleep at night.
You're about to get fucked by an...
This country is your sandbox, and it's gonna get dirty. At this point, pretty sure many of you already know that this game is for you. And you love it. We've got mercs, we got open world, we got guns, bombs, blades, tactics, destruction, and everything in between. Are you excited? Us too!
You heard the man!
To recolonize Earth under Project Earth Defender.
This next title looks like a Vampire Survivor style game in the opening shots, but in looking a little deeper, it might be more akin to an open world survival crafting title, having an interesting setting of post-apocalyptic Earth where you play as one of the last remaining humans and have to reclaim our planet in Earth Defender. From the way that the upgrades pop up and the number of enemies spawning in, it sure seems to be inspired by the Bullet Heaven King, but the add-on elements and base building stuff looks interesting and could be different enough.
My people have truly lost their way. Why can't they just understand how wrong and evil they are?
As temptation enters a heart, a seed of darkness sprouts, and awakened would descend on the realm. The chosen vassal will be sacrificed to cultivate a tree of darkness.
I came to know of Testament The Order of High Human via Twitter, where this first-person RPG from a team of less than 20 sure looks ambitious and seems to have gotten a decent amount of hype behind it, although my feedback to them is that the title seems nonsensical to me since I've no idea what a high human is. It is set in a post-apocalyptic fantasy world, which, to be honest, doesn't look much more different than a regular fantasy world to me, where first-person combat can be clunky, so I hope that they got it down, since skill-based combat is one of their highlighted features. There is, of course, magic and crafting in this, with platforming, puzzles, and a little bit of Metroidvania unlocks as well, being one of the more promising entries of the week.
Rise, chosen one. Bear the testament, the ultimate weapon of light. Save your realm. Be the guardian. Destroy the tree of darkness.
You're a disgrace to high humans. A fool who discarded the way of light.
Try it, mortal. Let's see your futile struggle to change this realm's fate.
Riley? Riley, are you there? Riley, come in. Can you hear me?
Jacob, 4 hours ago, a cult opened a portal above Edwards Island.
Riley, yes, but are we really the ones to do something about it?
Have you seen anyone else around? We've been all over. We've seen different timelines, gone back to the past. We're alone.
I have a little bit of a bugbear with this game, since if OXENFREE 2 Lost Signals is any good, it's gonna pop up in Indie Game of the Year lists for 2023. But developer Night School Studio has been wholly acquired by Netflix, so I don't think they count anymore. But anyway, technicalities aside, this is the sequel to a beloved horror adventure game about strange radio signals, with this being the direct sequel and is set 5 years after the events of the first game. Looking pretty good, so be sure to get this if you enjoyed the original, although it's not my thing to be honest. Here's a little bit of a curveball with Touhou New World, a curious top-down action-adventure game based of course on the Touhou Project IP. However, rather than being a traditional bullet hell style shoot 'em up game, this instead has you exploring a Zelda style dungeon in an action-adventure game kind of way, but where, of course, you cannot run from the bullet hell routes with these games and it factors into the combat. Still, it looks pretty interesting, but I'm very interested in how Touhou games have proliferated all over Steam and am interested in checking them out, so if you have any recommendations on where to start, let me know in the comments below.
I mean, I've been working on this game for 4 years. My publisher is coming tomorrow, so we need to run through this last test build.
Do I have a choice?
The developers of Try Again reached out to me via email, and I was very impressed with what I saw, given that they are a team of student developers who somehow managed to get Nolan North and Stephanie Kerbis to voice characters in their game, where the way this game looks and how the trailer is cut just fills me with hope on the future of indie games. This is a platformer title with a meta story, where you play as a test character in a game on a mission to be the main character, as the game developer in charge is rushing to test this build at the request of their publisher, where it certainly has inside vibes, so check out this 15-minute vertical slice demo for free, and hopefully we will get to see the full game down the line. I covered the news on this action platformer in my newsletter 2 weeks ago, where at the time, we just got news of a release date confirmation for Gravity Circuit, and here it is. This is a pixel art action platformer that sure looks to be inspired by Mega Man, only melee, where you battle various bosses and gain their powers, where the stage-based structure sets it apart from Metroidvanias and is one of my most anticipated titles, so I hope it's good, with more upcoming pixel art games in this video.